Hey everybody, welcome to Just Us Up North. I know it's been a very long time since we've even been present on YouTube. There's been definitely a series of events that have gone on here, some personal SHTFs that, have been dealt with, unexpected repairs and illnesses. But the biggest thing that's occupied us lately is the ice storm that's taken place here in northern Michigan. And we just thought we would discuss, how we got through it. Definitely a once in a generation storm, the likes of which none of us have really seen before. And so we were without power, I would say the equivalent of 4 days, and just would like to discuss some of the ways that we got through it. It's still cold here, so first and foremost, we were able to maintain some heat with our buddy heater, although definitely not a whole house heater. It kept one room warm that we were in, and these 1 pound canisters, I timed them out, and you could get 4 hours on high for one of these. So we kind of rationed ourselves to 2 a day while we were up. And so that's how we kept warm. Other things that became an issue was definitely water. We had some water on hand, but that went quickly. So from there, we took buckets down to the lake, 5 gallon bucket for flushing water. You could get about 4 flushes out of a 5 gallon bucket, so I would go and get one of those a day. Water, don't rely on running to the store and buying water when things happened. I was fortunate enough to be in town just prior to this happening and got some extra water, but as time went on, we ran out of drinking water. So I was fortunate enough to have a good friend that lived just inside of town. Their power was restored first, and I was able a couple days to get drinking water there, which worked out well for us. Food wise,
One thing I would say on the water is you need more than just drinking water and toilet water. We needed water to even wash dishes.
right. So, anyways, the old saying of 1 gallon per person per day, not even close to enough. Maybe for just drinking, but me personally, a pot of coffee and my 1 liter Yeti bottle goes with me every day to work. That's consumed. I would probably drink that much water again throughout the course of the evening, and that left nothing for washing dishes or any kind of hygiene. So when you think you got enough water, double or triple it at least. Food, we were well set on. We had a lot of food put up. We didn't open our freezer. And at the end of the 4 days, everything was still fine there, so we didn't lose anything. Just minor losses from the refrigerator, maybe a part of a gallon of milk and some, I don't know, I guess sour cream and yogurt was the only thing we really lost. So, but we relied more on like canned stews that we had up and like homemade biscuits and stuff like that were easy to make. We had full capability for cooking. We have a gas stove and oven that is ignited by a 9 volt battery. It's the off-grid model. We opted for that a long time ago just for situations like this. It was nice when we got power after about 3.5 days to get a shower, but then after the ice storm, heavy winds came in, 40 miles an hour gusts, so we were without power for probably another 6 to 7 hours on Thursday, but all is well with power now. So I would say we were pretty well prepared for short term because that's what we were used to. In the past, maybe a power outage of up to maybe 8 hours would be the maximum. 3 and 4 days was really pushing the limits, like I say, of our water and our heat. We went through a lot of propane canisters, but we had bought them in bulk from a wholesale club like several years ago, and it was very handy to have those. So definitely some lessons learned. We're definitely looking at a generator. We've never had one. We just had never really needed one, but as we're getting older, and if this is going to be maybe going to happen more often or not, we don't know, but we want to be better prepared with a generator. That's one of the things that I would say is a lesson learned, but for the most part, that's how we got through our 3.5 days without power.
And on the generator, we would do natural gas to save from the gas situation in town was bad.
Yes, the gasoline situation in the town that we live close to, we were the first ones back on with power. We were the only town in the area that had gasoline, so by Monday morning around 11 o'clock, you know, my wife came in to have lunch with me on my job, and the gas stations in town were out of gas until the trucks came. I mean, people were lined up down the road trying to get gas because the surrounding counties didn't have any pumps running. People were also, there was the increased demand for generator gas. So for about 3 days there were lines, and yes, my wife did witness some fights in the line up. So things were pretty crazy. The stores were really stripped of drinking water. You couldn't even buy single bottles of water. So when something bad happens, thinking, oh, I'm just going to go to the store and get supplies, it's not going to happen. Same way with the propane canisters, none available in this area right now. So some lessons learned, and that's how we got through this situation. So we feel blessed that we came through it in good shape, and we hope that anybody out here that's still affected by this gets through it in good shape. So until next time, be blessed.